Hello my friends, and welcome to our Lego Formicarium. Me and my daughter spent the better part of yesterday creating, brainstorming and building this thing. I hope you enjoy it, and if you've made any Formicariums out of Lego yourselves, then just give us a link in the description below. Couple of things to note straight away. It's quite small. It's basically what it needs to be functionally. It's a place to set up a queen and get a brood started. I thought it was kind of like a bit better than a test tube. There's quite a lot of space there actually. But this is the first thing I want to talk about. This here is the feeding area. This here is the queen's chamber. We'll have a look at that in a second. Up here is what we call the elevator, and up here is like a really funky kind of crazy funky room that they can mess around in. Now this is just a tic-tac box, see? Nice and simple. And that actually fits perfectly. It clips on there perfectly. You get these square bits here, and in them you can put these bits here which go all the way through like this. Can't really see there. But they're multi-directional, you see. Okay, so you see you can add, this is how you add tunnels, this is how you add parts to it and different compartments. And we'll talk about that in more depth in a minute. But in this instance, I just want to point this out. This goes on here. You see this end bit here is capped. Okay, again, not going to get much focus. That bit there's capped off, right? So this goes on here, like this, like thusly, and then you just take the whole thing there. Now up here, if you can see, that's our like Antworld there, and over here is the Formicarium that we've been working on. And this is what you can do. This is the bit I like best about it. Ta-da! See that? Not going to do it now, but that yellow bit you can see here, that's taped on, and it fits perfectly in there. Well, it actually fits perfectly in there, but I taped it on just to give it a bit more security. And then this bit here clips right into the yellow bit. So this whole thing here, this whole funky and Lego Formicarium actually links to this, and then of course to this, the Outworld. Now what I like most about this particular Formicarium is that it's so versatile. As I just said, there's so much you can do with it. Each of these parts is a separate compartment, and you can build more compartments and add and take away compartments as you see. I'll explain that in a second. Right, so let's take off this top compartment here. Say that I needed to do work on this particular compartment. Say that there was an issue within there that I needed to deal with. All I needed to do is take that off, and then we have this part here, which obviously goes down to the tunnel part up here. Okay, that links, that's one of our links there. Of course, the point of this isn't to have loads and loads of ants in this part. It gives me time to create it and build it like I need it to be. Let's just make sure that that's on there properly. That's one thing, you've got to make sure this is tight. So that's one compartment there, yeah? And this is the magic. This is where the magic happens and how the magic happens. These parts here are just Lego bamboo. I don't know where these come from, but these parts, these green parts you can see, they're I think they're bamboo from the Minecraft set. But these work and act as perfect tunnels. As you can see there, they go all the way through. And it's just a case of capping off each tunnel when it's not in use. And to do that, I'm just using these white caps here. I don't know what set they come in. But you can move, so you know, use your imagination. You can go that way, and then you can build a compartment. That way, build a compartment. That way, build a compartment. Well, there's obviously this compartment here, and then that way and that way. You might need to stabilise it a little bit, but that shouldn't be too difficult at all. So this is how we connect. This is the tunnel system. This is how we connect each separate compartment. Okay, so the next part is what my daughter calls the elevator. Right there, as you can see, the hole goes there from the Queen's chamber, goes up into the elevator, and then out there, and obviously this part connects there. And again, you can do what you want. You can go anywhere you want. We've got the funky disco which sits on top of that. So that's cool. There's quite a bit of room in there. I like it. It's really nice. Aesthetically, it's really cool. It's cool to look at. Really like that part. Now if you need to do any work in any of these particular chambers, all you've got to do is cap them off. Right? Or you just put any piece, a flat piece over that, that's that capped off. You just put a piece under that and over that. Sorry, there you go. That, and that's that capped off. Very, very simple. And the ants can stay in there while you're doing work on the different compartments and the different singular parts. So for example, this is the Queen's Chamber. If I needed to do work just on the Queen's Chamber, or for example, if I added a Queen to here, which I will do, there's obviously going to be more sand. That sand there's to go in there. If I need to do work here, all I need to do is just cap the top off with a square piece. I can keep her in there, I can settle her down, put her in darkness, get her to build her brood, and then I can slowly start implementing these different parts. And we just carry on building and carry on building. So the Queen's Chamber is quite simple. I found this round part here. I think this was a Christmas thing at one point. I checked it for water, checked it for holes, it's secure, but I have taped up these parts just in case, but that allows me to do this, and it acts as a hinge, just like that. Okay, and we can get in there, we can clean out, and we can do what we need, and back in. To be honest with you, actually, I would just leave that. Once that's done, and you've got the Queen in there and she's comfortable, you need that part there, that particular part there, you need to leave. And that's fine, because this part isn't a feeding area. The feeding area is the Tic Tac box, which is connected by that hole there. These are the magic parts, these are the best bits, because these are the bits that allow you to add these parts and therefore move it to different places. It's basically, it can go as far as your imagination takes it. These tunnels are just brilliant and they work so well. So let's just do a quick rebuild. So again, the elevator sits on top of the Queen's Chamber right there. I like to have that bit forward so I can actually see in there and see what they're getting up to. And then we come up and that part sits on there. That's that tunnel system, but it can go anywhere, as I said before. That's great. Got to make sure everything's on there real sturdy. Cool. So I can go off there, I can go off behind. And then we have the funky disco room, and that just sits right on top. There you go, that's cool, that's absolutely fine. There it is, a custom build Lego Formicarium. I really like it. So I'm going to get the Queen in there, and then I'm going to connect that to the main nest and to the Outworld. Thank you for watching, my friends, and we will see you in the next video.